Previously, we have learned about free body diagram and also we have learned about vector, which is a quantity that has direction and magnitude. Now let's combine them together. So for example, when we learn about the Newton's law, especially the second one, we'll learn that if you have an object and then you pull this object with a force, so the total force acting on that object is proportional to the acceleration, and we can write that the force equals to the mass times the acceleration. For example, if the force is 10 Newton and the mass is 2 kilogram, therefore the acceleration will be the force 10 divided by 2 kilogram. So you get 5 meter per second square. Now, what if the force here is not in the same direction with the motion of this object? So for example, the force is pointing to a certain angle like this. So if we have this situation, then what we need to do, we can always think about the components of this force. So now let's think about the component. This force has two components. So first is the component in the horizontal axis here. Let's call this Fx. And the second one is the component at the vertical axis, Fy. Okay, so again, we use the Cartesian coordinate, the horizontal or x-axis, and the vertical or y-axis. Now, when we think about the components, we can also calculate the magnitude of these components. So to get the components, the magnitude of the components, what we need to have is, of course, an angle. So let's suppose we have an angle here. Let's call this angle here theta. So this is the angle between the original force F with the horizontal axis. Now, if you want to find the magnitude of Fx and Fy, let's draw them in a triangle like this. So this is the original force F, and then this is the component in x direction, and this is the component in y direction, and this is the angle, right? Now let's suppose the F is 20 Newton and the angle here is 30 degree. So if you want to get the magnitude of Fy, in the trigonometry we have learned that sine 30 degree equals to Fy divided by F. So we use this relationship of sine, right? Therefore we get Fy. Basically that's just the magnitude of F times sine 30. So 20 times half, we get 10 newtons. And now what about the Fx? Right, to get the magnitude of Fx, now let's do the cosine 30. Therefore, if you look at that triangle, the cosine 30 will be Fx divided by F, right? So the Fx is just F times cosine 30. 20 times half times square root of 3, or we get that Fx equals to 10 times square root 3 Newton.